Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video doing GavsWeatherVids roundup for today's second video. So it's going to be your eclectic mix of this and that. We're looking at things like sea surface temperature, anomalies, activity, QVO and NEO, AO and more beside that, including weather next 10 to 14 days as well. So, yeah, please sit back, relax, enjoy, and I shall talk you through our sunny roundup in a moment. I haven't done one of these since early May, I don't think. Right, so I'll get on that for you in a second. Just say that the first video today was our 6 AM upload. We'll be live streaming from 8 PM this evening. First live stream that we've done since the end of March. I think it's been a long time since we last did a live stream. 3 months. So a lot has happened, of course, in the interim. We'll have a lot to talk about. And I shall see you live at 8 PM. I think it'll be a nice live stream. You know, I think we'll have a nice chat and whatnot. And we'll show some long range of that as well. Of course, the Sony live streams are famous for the long range. So we will show you some long range data, probably from the CFS, maybe from the Talpeng as well in our live stream. As I say, that will be coming up from 8 PM. So I shall see you live then, hopefully, for a nice hour or so of chat. Right, please like, share, subscribe on the video. Thank you so much, dear Matt. I hope you're having a lovely Sunday. And let's crack on then. So you're going to start with Sir Activity. So we have Sir Dish is looking on our side opposite today from sirham.net. Not the normal images. This is from National Space Observatory. But it's a clear image of Sir Dish. When you see what's going on, I've got two sunspot regions, one there, one there. So activity is, however, at very low levels and is expected to remain at low levels for the next 3 days. This is the GavsWeatherVids solar activity tracker from my good friend Schreier Bruin has updated the solar tracker up to present, up to the 24th of June. So the orange line is depicting each individual day's worth of sunspot activity. The red and green line are our 7 and 30-day averages, respectively. You can see that we have moved into much more active phase with solar activity this year. So come back here, back to 2021, you see it's at a very low level of solar activity, then just coming out of solar minimum gradually. But an uptick in solar activity took place really sort of at the end of 2021, November, December, when we started to move up towards the more active phase of solar cycle number 25. And of course, we're still in that active phase now. In fact, things are going to get more active up to solar maximum over the next year or two. Having said that, you will still get day by day, week by week, month by month deviations, anomalies from the overall trend. We go through one of those at the moment, actually, because you can see that a few days ago, back to around the 7th of June, we actually had a spotless day, a day when there was no sunspots at all, which is a little bit unusual for this part of the solar cycle now. You would expect most days to have sunspots, but you can still get one or two that don't have sunspots. It was our first spotless day, I think, since December, just here, since around the 7th to the 10th of December. Actually, that's been enough to start lowering the trend line. So, the green line here, you can see that carried on rising up during May, but then at the end of May into June, we actually see the trend line, the thick green line, beginning to drop down again. Very up and down with the sunspot numbers by day. So up here, we've actually got quite an active day going on just after the spotless day, and now dropped back down to there once again. So we're swinging between days that have got quite a few sunspots and days that don't have any sunspots. But certainly, I think June is going to be like a lower sunspot number month than May was. So that's quite unusual. But again, you do get these anomalies that occur as you go through the solar cycles. It'll be the same when we go into the minimum. So we're going up to maximum part of the solar cycle, of course. Now, when we start moving back towards the minimum phase of the solar cycle around 5 or 6 years' time, again, that won't be a linear process. There will be anomalies that occur day by day, week by week, month by month, where solar activity spikes up, while the trend, though, continues to be downwards. This is how solar cycle number 25 is comparing to last solar cycle number 24. Again, it's been updated by Schreier. So this is updated up to May 2022. Just here, which was an active month, the most active month of the solar cycle so far. June, you're probably going to see a drop on that, but it'll be interesting how much June drops compared to May. If you go back to the last time we moved up towards maximum, so just here we're comparable with that really, which is going through 2011. We reached our first peak of cycle number 24's maximum at the end of 2011, just here, and then of course we have the famous second peak in 2014. So I think the first peak happened in around December 2011. The second peak happened around, I think it was about February 2014, just there. You see again, it's not a linear process, so just here we have a drop, for example, in comparison to just there. And then, of course, we get the second peak, and then we drop down again through much of 2012. It's actually quite a month into the early part, quite a period into the early part of 2014. So it doesn't, that hasn't happened before. What's going on here when we get June's number coming in, posting a drop, and it looks like we're pretty comparable to this point in solar cycle number 24, solar cycle 25. This is from Rich. This is showing spotty days and the current spotted stretch. Thank you so much, Rich, with Baby Yoda. I love it. Right, okay, so 2022 so far has had 174 days with sunspots. That is 99% of the year, as we know. There is that one day, though, that occurred back earlier in June that didn't have any sunspots, and so that day is the reason that it's 99% rather than 100%. But of course, that's still a very, very high number. That compares to 2021, which had 301 days with sunspots. That is 82%. That was 82% of the year. 2020, of course, has 158 days with sunspots, 43% of the year, much lower percentage. And 2019 is the solar minimum year, having only 84 days with sunspots, just 23% of the year. 2018 was quite weak as well. Sunspots only 39%. Could go back to 2017 for the last time we had like a relatively active year for sunspots, which was 72% of the year, 261 days. Compared to 2021, to 2011, I should say, that year had 364 days, 99% of the year with sunspots. So again, there must be like that one or 2 days in 2011 that didn't have sunspots. So it does look very comparable, actually, what's going on at the moment with solar cycle 25 to the solar cycle number 24. In terms of the solar cycles, they appear to be developing, appearing quite closely aligned, I think. Of course, not in terms of the weather, because we haven't had the string of cold winters that we had in the early part of solar cycle number 24. So winters have been a lot milder with the early part of this solar cycle 25 compared to 2024. But in terms of the actual solar cycle itself, it does appear that that solar cycle 25 is performing in a very similar fashion to solar cycle number 24. Thank you so much, Rich and Shryan, for the data. Thank you so much, Bo. Right, this is our seesaw temperature anomalies. We're looking across the globe when we did the last Sunday roundup. So we've got our 3 areas of interest. We've got the equatorial Pacific Ocean just here, and so region. We've got the Northern Pacific over here, and then we've got the North Atlantic over there. That's how things are looking on the 5th of May. That's when we did what we used for the last Sunday roundup. So this is the very latest in comparison. So dealing with the ENSO region, first of all, there has been a bit of a warming of the central part of the equatorial Pacific Ocean. Just here, we have lost that La Nina signature slightly, although overall the sea surface temperatures are still cold and average in the western portion of the equatorial Pacific, and increasingly so towards the eastern corner of the equatorial Pacific Ocean. So that might be, this colder area here might be sort of the first signs of that La Nina is going to re-strengthen again as we go through the summer. But at the moment, we've actually backed off. The signal's backed off ever so slightly through the central part of the equatorial Pacific Ocean from La Nina. But I think we are more or less still in La Nina condition. Moving further northwards, generally the North Pacific Ocean looks quite warm, especially around here towards the coast of America and Canada. Alaska, we have lost that cold PDO signature to some degree, but we have a few months ago back in the winter. That could re-strengthen though for La Nina re-strengthens. I suspect things will get colder round here again in response. So at the moment, the La Nina and the cold Pacific just backed off a little bit. Cold PEO seems to just backed off slightly, probably due to going through the spring period when ENSO normally reverts back to ENSO neutral. So everything in the Atlantic is sort of backed away from La Nina over the past month or so. But I think we're probably going to have more of this La Nina as the year goes on. I'm going to go to the Atlantic next. So, what am I doing? So in the North Atlantic, a little bit of a tripod signature maybe. Warm just here, cooler just here, and warm down in Tropical Atlantic. Tropical Atlantic looks especially warm, as does the Gulf of Mexico. It all looks very primed, I have to say, for another active tropical storm or hurricane or excuse me, and or hurricane season. So watch this space. If La Nina starts to re-strengthen, which we're going to think it will, combined with the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean, and tropical and subtropical Atlantic, I reckon we could be in for another big season once again. But that does look a little bit tripole-esque, doesn't it? With warmer just here, cooler through there, and particularly warm down here. I shall say no more than that. We've got the NEA forecast, winter 2022-2023, being released a week today, actually, on Sunday, 3rd of July. We're going to premiere it, and I'll have all the detail on that in the live stream later on today. Exciting times, though. NEA forecast day, always exciting day at GavsWeatherVids, so that's coming up next week. Right, you had a little sneak peek of this, didn't you? This is Southern Oscillation Index. Remember, the SOI is just an index that's reflecting the atmospheric state. It doesn't drive anything in its own terms. It just tells us what the atmosphere is doing. When the SOI is in its positive phase, the atmospheric setup will be reflective of La Nina. When the SOI is in its negative phase, the atmospheric setup will be reflective of El Nino. Let's see what the SOI is currently doing then. So we are still in a strongly positive phase of the SOI, but it has come down a little bit compared to back in May when the SOI was up here. 30-day average. We're down here now. That's still very positive, really, at sort of plus 14 to plus 16, something like that. Daily returns are just here. It's measuring air pressures between Tahiti and Darwin. There are two columns there, and then the overall SOI number is calculated here. Most days very positive. For example, most recent day, 26th of June, at plus 27.55. We did have a slight negative day on the 23rd of June at minus 1.06. But see, generally the numbers are very positive. 20th of June plus 22, 18th of June plus 28, 17th of June plus 23, etc., etc. If we come down here, you can see sort of even at the beginning of June, although we do have a little bit of negativity just there, 1st and 2nd of June, overall the numbers are still positive. 6th of June, for example, plus 31, 7th of June plus 28, 30th of May plus 31. We're still firmly in the grip of La Nina. I think, although the coldest of the sea surface temperatures have reduced slightly over the past month or so, I think there's more still to come from this La Nina. I think that's what the SOI is telling us there. And CFS-V2 running with that idea as well. This is the latest forecast from CFS, which I would say has been handling this La Nina well over the past year or so. So these are our temperature lines on the side, and then our dates in monthly periods on the bottom. So you can see at the moment we have, so back around April time, we're down here around 1 degree below average. You've seen that backing off. We've gone to around half a degree below average. But the black dash line, which is the ensemble mean, that actually drops again as we go through the rest of summer into the autumn, telling us that CFS is indicating that La Nina is likely to start re-strengthening a little bit again as we go further through this summer and into the autumn. It looks like we keep weak La Nina conditions going through to the end of the year, really. And then next year we may well start to see things backing off. It would be extraordinary if La Nina went on through 2023. So I think this will be the final year for this La Nina. I think we're probably going to have a third La Nina winter for 2022-2023, and then that should be the end, I would have thought, and we should see something different next year, when we go through next spring and summer, perhaps going to El Nino, as it has been quite a long time since we had an El Nino. So somewhere, at a great depth, there must be a large mass of warmer than average sea surface temperature is waiting to rise up, and maybe that will be unleashed next year. I'll have to wait and see. But it does look as though winter 2022-2023 will be a third weak landing winter. Right, I'm just going to pause the video there, and I shall be back in around 2 seconds' time. See you in a moment. Okay, we're back and we're ready to resume this Sunday Roundup. If you're enjoying this month's Sunday Roundup for June 2022, then please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We're going to look at the QBO next, quasi-biennial oscillation. So this is the QBO page at NOAA, showing every month's QBO back to 1948. Let's come down to the current year of 2022. And you can see that we have been in an easterly negative QBO through this year so far. We begin with January at minus 23.01, proper strong, mature eastern QBO, and that carries on through the opening months of 2022. The last month we have is for May at minus 19.70, still strong with the ECQBO, but I think when June's number is placed here, we will probably see that going much closer to neutral or even into a positive phase. So I think it's going to be a big flip actually when June's number gets revealed, and that will be happening at the beginning of July. When that number gets revealed, I think you're going to see a big change from the very negative number that we had in May. Reason being is this is the QBO chart from NASA. So this is showing easterly and westerly QBO phases up to current and back to 2019. Where we've got the blue-green colours, that's where we've got the easterly phase of the quasi-biennial oscillation. Where we've got the sandy-brown colours, that's where we've got the westerly phase of the quasi-biennial oscillation. You have to think with this, like this is the top of the atmosphere just here, in the stratosphere at 10 HPA, and this is the level of the atmosphere called the troposphere at 30 to 50 HPA. We're seeing the Western QBO, or have been seeing Western QBO descending. The next phase of Western QBO has been descending through this year so far. So while in the troposphere we've had this strong, while in the troposphere we've had this strong easterly QBO, I'm a bit rusty still. With my highlighter for these in-depth videos. So while in the troposphere, and let's get back to this. While in the troposphere we have the easterly phase of the QBO going on, as we know from the numbers we've just been looking at. In the stratosphere, we've been seeing the westerly QBO strengthening and descending, and that we've more or less pushed that westerly QBO down to the top of the troposphere. We've more or less got it into 30 HPA. So that's the reason that I think June's QBO number will be very much towards neutrally positive compared to May's QBO number. Big flip around from May to June is on the way. And of course, this is the next westerly phase of the quasi-biennial oscillation. So this sandy brown, these sandy brown curves will do something like that over the next few months as we go into the next westerly QBO phase. So the coming winter is going to be a westerly QBO winter, definitely. So the reason we look at QBO is primarily a winter driver. When you are in a westerly QBO, you strengthen the zone westerlies. When you're in an easterly QBO, you weaken the zone westerlies. So easterly QBO tend to increase the chance of a colder winter, zone westerlies weaken. Westerly QBO tends to increase the chance of a milder winter as the westerlies, zone westerlies are strengthened. However, it's not that straightforward. We do have several examples, including last winter, where an easterly QBO is actually mild, and we also have examples where a westerly QBO is cold. So watch this space on that, but definitely like next westerly QBO phase is more or less in place now. Arctic oscillation observed and forecast looking like this. So black line shows where I've been with the AA, the red line at the end where GFS ensembles are forecasting the Arctic oscillation. So remember, the AA is just an index that reflecting the atmospheric date, doesn't drive anything. So term just tells what the atmosphere is doing. We've got a positive AO, got a low pressure over the Arctic and over North Pole. We've got a negative AO, we've got high pressure blocking over the Arctic and over the North Pole. We're generally in a positive phase of the NEO and have been, of the AO I should say, and have been since May really, although it did go negative for a while in early June. But generally the AO has been in a positive phase. We're around neutral at the moment with the Arctic oscillation, but GFS ensembles are forecast that the Arctic oscillation will go positive again. So plenty of low pressure up over the Arctic and over Pole. That can sometimes in summer be a signal. So it'll be colder up there. Over the Arctic North Pole it should be colder and it should be more wintry, and there should be more low pressure and whatnot. That in summer can sometimes be a signal for the Azores high to strengthen through mid-latitudes and ridge into Western Europe. So a lot of hotter summers tend to have positive Arctic oscillations actually. LAO looks like this. Observed and forecast. Again, black line shows where we've been. With the North Atlantic oscillation, red lines at the end, where GFS ensembles forecasting the LAO to go. Generally, the LAO has also been in a positive phase through much of this year, with occasional dips into negativity. Where we are right now with the LAO is around neutral, and the GFS ensembles are forecasting the LAO to stay around neutral as we go through the rest of June and into the first half of July as well. So we've got the LAO in neutral phase, maybe slightly weak negative, but more or less neutral. We've got the AO in a positive phase. This could be a signal for the Azores high to start ridging in. We'll have to wait and see if it does. Then we might start stringing together some drier, hotter weather. But again, I say, we'll have to wait and see. Right, let's do some forecasting then. So these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Next couple of weeks, the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Birmingham, starting off below average at the moment. You can stay generally a little bit below average over the next week or so, relatively cool as we come to the end of July. Possibly signs that things start getting a bit warmer as we go, June, I should say, and then possibly signs that things start getting a little bit warmer as we go into the first half of July. Although it looks like anything excessively hot, so we haven't got any of those ensemble members sort of lifting up to here, no sign of any heat spikes, but perhaps a bit of a warming trend through the first week or so of July. Also, it's a little bit showery over the next few days. There are going to be some showery spells of rain, possibly going a little bit drier there through the first week of July. That might when the temperature lifts up a little bit, and then perhaps something a bit more showery again through the second week of July. Temperature anomalies on the 26th of June to 4th of July coming out a little bit below average. Quite a cool end to June, start to July. And precipitation anomalies from 26th of June to 4th of July coming out dry and average in the far south, southeast, wetter than average for more western regions. Latest info map from earthnorthschool.net has low pressure just to the west of Scotland and Northern Ireland. So we are in an unsettled pattern at the moment. Right, this is how the UK Met Euro run. It's looking for Wednesday. Low pressure still to west of Scotland and Northern Ireland then. So further rain into the west. And then at the end of the week, top of low pressure will sit through the country, bringing further showers, if not longer spells of rain too. Into next weekend, high pressure tries to ridge in from off the Atlantic, but doesn't really make it, to be honest. And we just keep ourselves in like this rather coolish and sort of slightly showery northwesterly flow. Icon looks like that again, with low pressure out to our west on Wednesday, and then meandering around the country through the second half of the week with further showers likely. Next weekend, though, Icon starts to build more of a ridge from the Azores high into western northern parts of Europe. So that does actually turn drier and warmer next weekend with Icon. Might even turn quite hot in the far southeast corner. But definitely a nice extension from the Azores high next weekend. Doing something a little bit drier, a little bit warmer for the first weekend of July. GFS midnight run, again with low pressure just out to our west, bringing showery conditions, longer spells of rain too. Into the second half of the week, again low pressure close to the country, further showers, if not longer spells of rain then. And then into next weekend, this is also high, making a move onto ridging from the southwest, bringing something drier and warmer, particularly to more southern and western areas. Heading up toward day 10, that nice extension from the Azores high continues then, so reasonably dry and quite warm too. Beyond day 10, the high pressure just begins to pull out to our west a little bit, so it turns slightly cooler and more showery from the northwest. Once again, we go into those more sort of cooler, more showery northwesterly winds then as we go through a very extended range. Actually get wind into the north there by the 10th of July. We're pulling in a little bit of a northerly, which will be a lot cooler, of course. So there is a little bit of a warm-up that goes on through the opening days of July, but a little bit drier and warmer doesn't last all that long, and then we're back into those cooler, showery northwesterly winds again. GFS 6Z, again with the low pressure closer to the country on Wednesday and through the second half of next week will bring further showers or longer spells of rain. By next weekend, though, the Azores high again, just starting to send its ridge into the west of Europe, turning things drier and warmer then, and all the way up toward day 10, actually, the Azores high, the ridge from the Azores high brings plenty of dry and warm weather to Ireland, England, Wales, where Scotland is a little bit more showery. And that ridge carries on as we go through into the second week of July too, keeping things mainly dry and quite warm at that point. And then it starts turning a little bit more unsettled right at the very end of GFS 6 there. Gets the 12th of July, then low pressure is back in. So a few days of dry and warm weather with both the GFS running today through early July, not lasting all that long, but we do get that ridge from the Azores for a few days in early July. GM, again, showing low pressure close to the country, bringing further showers, if not longer spells of rain with it, right way through into the end of week. And then next weekend, not as much of a ridge from the Azores high for GM, actually. So to be honest with GM, it seems pretty unsettled all the way up to day 10. No real extension or ridge from the Azores high there. And then the ECMWF finally, for the chart, shows low pressure over to western country in the middle part of the week and to the end of the week. Further low pressure showers or longer spells of rain next weekend. The ECM does have a little bit more of a ridge from the Azores high. So the ECM with the GFS tempering a little bit drier and warmer with that ridge from the Azores high next weekend. By day 10, actually looking quite nice. A nice ridge extending in from the Azores. That could definitely lift the temperature into the mid, possibly even upper 20s Celsius, with plenty of sunshine. Again, how long that would last, the evidence is that that would only go on for a few days, and then the Azores high would pull back away from us back into the Central Atlantic. But, you know, we've got the GFS icon and also the ECM showing an extension from the Azores high starting from next weekend. So a few days of dry, warm weather perhaps on the way through early July. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from tomeshow.com. Further showery conditions to come over the next few days, of course, with low pressure and control of the weather. However, the trend by around day sort of 7, 8 is to turn things drier, and things turn increasingly dry under that nice ridge around day 10. These are the upside table within the ECM ensemble day for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 6th of July. 34 members of the ECM ensemble show that ridge extending in from the Azores with low pressure way to the northwest, so turning drier and warmer with that option by day 10. However, 17 a minority option, significant sort of minority as well, with low pressure dominating, where the high pressure pulled out into the Atlantic. So the majority option is to get that nice extension from the Azores high by day 10, turning things dry and warmer. However, we can't discount this possibility that the unsettled and quite cool weather could go on. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. We'll go to the 11th of July. 16 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure just to our west-southwest, low pressure to our north-northeast, winds in from like a northwesterly direction. So that's turning cooler, and but still reasonably dry, especially the southwest. We've got 14 here with low pressure through the country. That's going to be unsettled, of course, relatively cool as well. 11 with high pressure right over top of the country. It's also successfully reached in, I assume, and formed an area of high pressure over the country. And then 10 with high pressure just to our west, but reaching into the country, bringing a lot of dry weather with it. So there's a range of options there, and it's all going to hinge on exactly how much of a ridge we get from the Azores high and how long it lasts. But some drier, warmer weather is possible through the first half of July. We'll have to wait and see, though, of course. Right, we're going to do a CFS data in our live stream. So no CFS data for this one, but you will get to see the CFS weeklies and monthlies and seasonal charts and whatnot in our live stream, along possibly with data from Patal Pay as well. So for this Sunday roundup, there we go. We come to the end. If you can like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody. If you enjoy this Sunday roundup, and don't forget to tell your friends, family about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe as well. That would be incredible. We are grinding. We're grinding to 14,000 subscribers. So thank you so much, everybody, for all of the subs. There we go then, so round up in the can. I shall see you later on at 8 PM for our live stream. I was thinking to start my live stream with some music, but YouTube doesn't like that, so it may be, should I try a little bit of whistling? Would I be able to whistle after having some of my tongue removed? It'll be an experience anyway. I might try to do a little bit of whistling at the start of the live stream and see how I get on, but if I'm not very good, because I haven't had a big chunk of the tongue taken away, if I'm not very good, then, you know, be kind to me. But in any case, I shall see you live at 8 PM, and we'll have a nice hour or so hanging out, and we'll have a bit of a chat. And as I said, we're going to show you the trials then, and we'll show you some long range as well. So, live at 8, I shall see you then, but enjoy the rest of your sunny afternoon, and this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.